Don't worry about
All right,
it.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Before we begin, first and foremost, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory to our power, Yahweh,
Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash.
Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone GMS who rule well and who taught us this truth. And peace and salutations and blessings go on to the fellow Akim that are pushing out this word and truth and in sincerity, okay? And in today's video, we're going to be getting into the nation of Amalek, okay? Which today, they're posing themselves as the Jewish people, okay? Over there in the land of Israel, all right, you got these Amalekites posing as the true children of God. But according to the Bible, all right, which we're going to be getting into prophecy, we're going to be getting into these contradictions of today, because it just shows you that there are just many prophecies and contradictions that show you that in fact they're just imposters, okay? They're posers, all right, posing as the Israelites, which they're not even going by that term Israel. Instead, they're going into the name of the Jewish people, okay? So
Yeah, they go by Jewish. You know, get the first one.
Come on.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 2 and verse 9. I know thy works, and tribulation and poverty.
All right, so this is talking about the real Jewish people, so to speak. But really,
Real Jews.
our real name, what's it?
Real Jews.
So real Jews, but really we're Israelites, okay? Because Jewish with the ish, that's a suffix meaning pertaining to, or kind of, or not really, okay? But we're not really Israelites. We are Israelites, okay? So go ahead.
I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not.
It says that the blasphemy, all right? Because they're blaspheming. That's blasphemy, saying that they're the true children of God. It's spiritually ironic, because really, God really hates their guts, right? Because Amalek, they're the descendants of Esau, Edom, okay? The so-called white man today,
Yeah,
right? The devil.
They're from the nation of Edom, which is the nation that the Most High indeed hates, according to the scriptures.
Yep.
Okay.
And that's why.
Go ahead.
Go on, go into the next scripture, and really, again, like as I said, really, the nation of Esau, Edom is very envious of us, okay, and they hate us too, also, for good reason, which is why they took the land of Israel in their possession, all right, because they think that they're the holy people of God, all right. So go ahead.
Yeah. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 36 and verse 5. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh power, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen, and against all Idumea.
The word Idumea means is it the Greek way of saying?
That's how you say Idumea is how you say Edom in Greek.
Oh, come on. So that's talking about Esau, Edom, all right?
Against all Edom.
All Edom. So all the descendants, which includes Amalek.
All Edomites, the whole nation of Edom, which have, continuing on in the book of Ezekiel, which have appointed my land into their possession with the joy of all their heart. With the joy of all their heart, with despiteful minds to cast it out for a prey.
Come on, and then we read in Revelations that we are poor, that we are in poverty, but they're counting it all joy in the land of Israel right now, okay? And we're gonna be getting into something that's called the Balfour Declaration, okay? Because first of all, the Balfour Declaration is essentially this document that permitted the Jewish people into the land of Israel, okay? But which first and foremost, as I stated before, we're gonna be getting into prophecy, all right?
Right. We're gonna pretty much, if I could say this real quick, because the one thing that when we go out on the streets and preach, we push prophecy, right? And the reason why we know who we are is according to prophecy.
Right.
That's why we know that they aren't who they say they are, also according to prophecy. Okay? According to the prophecies as written in, the Holy Scriptures. Okay, and we're gonna read, in the Balfour, we're gonna read about the Balfour Declaration in Wikipedia.
Before you read that, you got to understand also that after we get this, Lord's will, we're gonna get the precepts out that prove that the true nation of Israel and how the true state of the world is gonna be in, right, when they go back into that land, right? And this is how we know. And as the brother beautifully just said, that according to prophecy, according to the scriptures that are written, we know that who we are. All right, Israelites, so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. We know who we are, but also we know who these other people are, and we know our worst, our sworn enemy is Esau, Edom. We know who they are.
Yeah.
According to what prophecy?
Yep. Like we know according to the prophecies that were written in the scriptures. Okay. So this is on Wikipedia, about the Balfour Declaration. You probably can't see it. We're recording with the front camera, so it might come out in like reverse or something. But we're gonna read about it because, like we just read in the book of Ezekiel, it said, "Which have appointed my land into their possession," right? Because the land of Israel, which they don't even have the whole land, but the bit that they do have, that land doesn't actually belong to them. It belongs to the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, right? That's supposed to be our inheritance. Which at one point in time we were in that land, but we befell the curses prophecy, which is prophecy, and we were casted away, as it is written, that those things happen to us, but I'm gonna read this real quick. The Balfour Declaration, and this is up at the top of the Wikipedia, was a public statement issued by the British government in 1917 during World War I, announcing support for the establishment of a national home for...
And Salakia, and if I may say also, when you read the scriptures, the Israelites, right, which they were never even called Jewish people until nowadays, and back then too.
Yeah, that was like a derogatory term.
Right, because Jewish, that's short for what?
Jew.
Judah.
Yeah, Jew is short for Judah.
But it's just one tribe.
Right.
But they apparently every single Israelite, so to speak, over there in the land of Israel.
No, I know, bro. They call themselves Israeli. Remember?
Oh yeah.
Israeli. They don't call themselves Israelites.
Yeah, they call them Israelis and all
they
those
call
other,
themselves Israeli.
Yeah, all that nonsense. But really, but they're all known as the Jewish people.
Right.
But I was gonna say though that the characteristics of them and the way they were written in the scriptures, they don't really match. How are you gonna have the Lord deliver you from all of this perils and these great dangers that we faced in history? But you're gonna have a piece of paper that tells you can go back to the land of Israel. Come on, man, that's puny. That doesn't match.
Right. That's not how the Lord is gonna bring us back into the land.
And we're gonna prove it in this video. Right?
Yeah, according to what's written, that's not how we're gonna get into the Salaki. That's not how we're gonna go back to the land. Lord willing, we're of that number.
Yep.
Continuing on, I'm gonna start from the top. The Balfour Declaration was a public statement issued by the British government in 1917 during World War I, announcing support for the establishment of a national home for the Jewish people.
Yes.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean.
Yeah. So it was. Go ahead.
Men give you that permission to be in that land. Because if I'm not mistaken, before it was actually the Esau, Edom, it was the Ishmaelites, right? But before that was when the true inhabitants, which was the Southern Kingdom, was there. It was there beforehand too. So now that going to the next precept.
Yeah.
All right. We could just go into the prophecy.
Going to the prophecy now. Oh, if I could say this real quick though, yeah, like we read in Ezekiel. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, Yahweh power. Surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen and against all Idumea, which have appointed my land into their possession, which is what the nation of Edom did. Using the Balfour Declaration, they declared whatever, and now they're saying that it's their land, and they say some type of blasphemous wickedness. I don't even like to say what they say, but they pretty much appointed that land, which is the lot of our inheritance, to themselves, man, because that doesn't belong to them,
Right. Let's get into prophecy.
Yeah, let's get into
prophecy because right now the brother right now is gonna read what's gonna happen when the true Jews, so to speak, the true Israelites, go back to the land which the Lord gave us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before we get that though, this is the book of Revelation. You want to get that one? Yeah. This is the book of Revelation. Back in the book of Revelation, the 19th chapter and the 10th verse. And I fell at his feet to worship him. And before I continue on, in the book of Revelation, right, this is when John the Revelator was in the Isle of Patmos, and he was receiving revelations, right, and I fell at his feet to worship him, and he said unto me, see thou do it not. And this is when the angel appeared unto him, right. I'm gonna start back from the top. Revelation 19:10. And I fell at his feet to worship him, and he said unto me, see thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahushai. Worship the Most High. Salakia. Worship the Most High, for the testimony of Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy.
Yeah, we have testimony. We have proof that the words that are written in the scriptures, they are truth. But what most importantly, it said prophecy. So that's how we know what's true and what's not, because we know what
According to prophecy.
According to prophecy. That's what we always do at the highways and hedges. We know that this place is gonna burn with fiery flames from thermonuclear missiles.
Rebuke flames of fire, like the scriptures say.
On Babylon, aka America. All right. So once again, we're gonna be getting into what happens to the land of Israel and the current state of the world too, just to show you how important we are.
We're gonna bring out, that according to prophecy, they haven't fulfilled the the true prophecies of the Israelites. They've this is the go to Isaiah. Isaiah first.
Yeah.
All right, this is the book of Isaiah. Salaki. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 2, and start at the top.
Yeah.
All right. The word that Isaiah, the son of Amos, saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem.
Yeah, it says Judah and Jerusalem. So what? That's Judah is synonymous with what? The southern kingdom.
Indicative of it.
And Jerusalem is talking about what? All the nation of Israel, all together. The 10 tribes, right? The so-called Negroes. So like the so-called Latinos and Native Americans, right? So all of Israel, right?
Which Jerusalem is a people before it's a place. When you read the book of Zechariah, I believe. Should we get it real quick?
Kind of, yeah. Because remember, this is as a brother's gonna get this precept to prove that it's talking about all of us, right? The nation of Israel, Jerusalem, because as we know, Jerusalem is a people before it's a place, right?
Yep, it's in the book of Zechariah, Salakia. Yeah, this is Zechariah chapter 12 and verse 6, Salakia.
Right.
In that day I will make the governors of Judah like a hearth of fire among the wood, and like a torch of fire in a sheaf, and they shall devour all the people round about on the right hand and on the left. And Jerusalem shall be inhabited again in her own place, even in Jerusalem.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, Jerusalem. Jerusalem's gonna be inhabited again in her own place, even in Jerusalem. So that lets you know Jerusalem is indicative of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans before the land. Which in the Hebrew I believe it's Yerushalayim, which means city of peace. And we as Israelites together make up Jerusalem. We are Jerusalem before it's the land. It's a people before it's a place. Okay.
Continuing on Isaiah.
Yeah, this is Isaiah 2. Back at the top, verse 1. The word that Isaiah.
So this is talking about all the tribes, right?
Yeah.
Wait, read it again.
The word that Isaiah, the son of Amos, saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem.
Right. So this is a vision. This is prophecy, which this hasn't even happened yet. So for those New Testament only type people, Wakitaki Christians, right? So this is in the Old Testament. This hasn't happened yet. Okay. So it says concerning Judah and Jerusalem. It's not talking about just Judah, right? This is when all the tribes are going to come back together. They're not lost. All right. They're right here right now.
The 12 patriarchs.
Come on.
Verse 2. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord Yahweh's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it.
No, it named us a mountain, and in the scriptures, Israel is known as Mount Zion. Okay, and that's how you know it's not talking about actual physical nature's mountains, because mountains is indicative of nations.
Yeah, it's indicative of like governments and stuff.
And other great nations, right? So what? It's gonna be exalted. Us, the Israelites, are gonna be exalted above everyone. So, AKA, what does that tell you?
We're gonna be above everybody.
You're gonna be above everyone. All right. AKA, rod of iron. All right. We're gonna rule these nations with a rod of iron, which AKA that isn't happening right now because. Oh, matter of fact, if anything, America's the so-called greatest nation above all the hills or above all the mountains. All right.
Right now. Which really it's not. America's on the downfall.
Right, but even with that, like Russia, to be honest, these are like the major hills or mountains over every other mountain, right? Because Israel right now everybody else is on. As a matter of fact, we didn't even mention it on the way over here. What we saw, I think it was a car. It was a car. I think the driver was a Marine. And they had a sticker. Remember, it said "I stand with Israel," and it had the little star of Remphan on it. Wait. It says "I stand with Israel." Yeah. What does that imply? Keep reading.
Yeah, exactly. Isaiah 2 and 3. And many people shall go and say, come and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord Yahweh, to the house of the Most High, to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways.
That's not happening. That's not. First of all, they're not even they're not showing forth the laws, statutes, and commandments the Lord showed them. All right, I don't know which city it is, but they have like one of the most biggest faggot parades over there in the land of Israel.
Yeah, they're defiling the land, and I believe that's Tel Aviv.
Okay,
yeah. And another thing, real quick, just getting into it, these so-called Jewish people, these kites. If you were to meet one, man, their spirit is totally adverse to the Lord. The majority of them are atheists. All right, because their mom works for one. And you meet these men. These men aren't religious at all. Religious, so to speak. They aren't. They're profane, man. They fit the description of the Edomites, not the description of the children of the Most High, man.
Yeah, they're faithless bastards.
Yeah, they're a bunch of faithless heathens, man. They're atheists and stuff like that.
Come on.
See, anyway, yeah, they're a bunch of atheists. All right, they keep not one law, and everything.
And it just said that the every nation is going to learn of Israel. They're going to want to learn of their ways.
Yeah,
they're going to want to keep the laws, statutes, and commandments.
Mm-hmm.
And it even says in Deuteronomy where it says the nations shall say, "Oh wow, what a wise
and understanding people."
And that's not happening.
Exactly.
If anything, everyone wants to come to America and do their wicked ways. Which is what they're doing.
Yeah, no one wants to be righteous right now, and no one. Hey, we ain't reading the Talmud, man. We don't want to be like them.
Mm-hmm. That reminds me. They don't even believe in the Holy Scriptures. These Jewish people, they believe in the Talmud, which is why they wear.
I think it's the Babylonian Talmud, right?
Some bull crap like that. Which is why they wear the what's it called? The damn yarmulkes. All right,
where's that in the scriptures?
Yeah,
Jewish people,
right? That's nowhere to be found.
Yeah,
in the scriptures,
we're not supposed to cover our heads.
When
we pray or prophesy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's even in their scalp too.
Yeah, it's
right above their head.
They got the yarmulke stain. Anyway,
yeah.
Verse 3: And many people shall go and say, "Come, let us go up to the mountain of Lord Yahweh, to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths." And another thing, man, everybody hates them, man. You see Palestine and Israel going at it, He will teach us of his ways, and and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of the Lord Yahweh from Jerusalem.
Yeah, they're going to learn of our history. They're going to learn of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. But that does not mean that we're going to be equal to them. Right? They're going to be under our foot. But it just said that we're going to learn of their ways. No one's practicing the laws of the Jewish people. No one's having yarmulkes upon their head.
Yeah, the only people following following the ways of the Lord are us, brothers that are in the truth. We're the only people that are trying to, these heathen aren't doing that. Right now everybody's following American philosophies. Really, right. They're drinking that Babylon wine. Yeah,
again, so to speak, in the point of view of the world, get Isaiah 61.
Yeah,
that no one's following their Jewish laws, all right? No one's going into them synagogues, right? No one's having yarmulke. Oh, and of course, another thing that's adverse, as we know in Numbers 1 and 18, it talks about how it's to the fathers that you're a Jewish person, right? Mm-hmm. It's actually to the mothers, right? They believe for them, Salakia. They believe it's maternal,
right?
They
go by a matriarch, which is totally adverse to the scriptures.
Completely adverse, because the scriptures tell you that. And in Numbers 1 and 18, it tells you plain it's to the fathers.
Yeah, I'm going to read it just real quick for edification's sake. This is the book of Numbers, chapter 1, verse 18. And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers.
Their mom?
No, their fathers. According...
Their grandma? No, man. Again, they're just completely adverse. They don't follow what the scriptures say, right? This is not the book of the Jews. Come on, man. They follow absolutely zero things about the scriptures. If anything, they just don't eat pork and kosher.
They eat kosher. Remember that? And that's always their justification when you ask them, how are you a Jew? Oh, I eat kosher, bro. I pray 3 times a day, man.
Yeah.
I eat kosher. Yeah, that's the thing, man, about these kites, man. They didn't think they'd lie all the way through, man. Because that, first coming up into the truth, man, that you learn how to debunk that quick. But Isaiah, you said 61?
You can start at verse Salaki.
It's called to wealth. But yeah, like we were saying, when it comes down to it, the people that are in our land right now, they're not the real Israelites, considering the fact of how they are. When the scriptures say the Spirit itself beareth witness in that we are the children of the Most High, that fits us, because the words of the Spirit, and when you read the scriptures, you see who the true people are, which fits us, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And then when you see that it fits us, it completely does not fit them, them as a nation, because of course our people are scattered amongst everybody. So you probably, you do have Israelites amongst those kites that are Israelites by blood through their father's side, But the majority of them, man, probably just kites. But you said what?
16 and 18.
16?
60 and 18.
Oh, 60 and 18?
This is another prophecy on the state of the kingdom of heaven, or actually the state of the world and how it's gonna look like. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Oh right, yeah. Because I'm gonna read it.
Right.
Let's just get the scripts. Just let the scriptures speak. This is Isaiah chapter 60 and verse 18. Violence shall no more be heard.
Right.
In thy land.
In thy land, right.
Mm-hmm. Wasting nor destruction within thy borders.
So, what does that mean? If you look at Israel right now, that place is nothing but a war zone, from what I've seen. All right. I mean,
from what's going on, it's a war zone,
And I've seen these so-called daughters of Zion, right? The Jewish women. I remember seeing a picture of them with literally like just posing with their AK-47s.
Yeah, with their guns and stuff.
That legit seems like a comedic type of picture or something. If you were to read this verse, it said no more war. It said no more war. No more what? No more violence.
Oh, so like I lost it.
It's called to what?
Yeah.
Is it something along the lines of what? No more violence, right? No more wars.
Yeah. Isaiah 60 and 18, and violence shall no more be heard in thy land.
So.
Mm-hmm. Which right now, Israel is a war zone.
Yeah, that they're at war with the Ishmaelites or something.
Yeah, they're at war with the Ishmaelites.
Wait, they're in a battle in general. Didn't we say that we're going to be exalted over these other nations as well?
Yeah.
We're going to be kings and the likeness of those things, right?
Mm-hmm. And the Lord hasn't returned.
Oh, right, the Lord hasn't returned. Actually, Revelation is the 21st chapter.
Yeah.
This is another prophecy, again, concerning John, right? Because he saw a vision of, he saw a glimpse of the kingdom of heaven, okay?
Right.
This really, that just proves that. Because essentially, if they're in the land of Israel right now, this is all these prophecies that we're reading. All these things should come in effect right now, So go ahead.
Revelation 21 and 1, and I saw a
So just keep reading.
Oh, and I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away.
Which we're not there yet. We're still in the for this first phase or the chapter. Or
yeah,
this current,
we're still. What a lot of people don't realize is that we're still in biblical times. We're in the last days. And one thing that we do know is that the kingdom is definitely not established yet.
Okay.
Salakia. I'm gonna keep reading. Let the scriptures speak. Passed away, and there was no more. See verse 2. And I John saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from the Most High out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of the Most High is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and the Most High himself, and the power, I'm gonna just say the power, and the power himself shall be with them, and be their power.
That's talking about Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and actually the Lord himself, Yahushai, who the world ignorantly deems Jesus Christ. He's going to be dwelling with them.
Because according to what's written, the Lord, Yahushai is who's gonna deliver us. Lord willing, we're a part of that number, because salvation does begin with the elect of the nation of Israel, the 144,000, and that great multitude, that 1/3.
So I mean, again.
Oh, can I get this precept?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, because we read in Isaiah the 60th chapter about there being no more violence. I believe it said in the land, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yeah. This is back to Isaiah the 2nd chapter. Isaiah chapter 2 and 3. Verse 4. And he shall judge among the nations. And he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat.
We're gonna be correcting the heathen, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
When they go, we're gonna be judging them.
Yeah, like it says in Psalms and even in Revelation that Yahushua quoted that he shall rule them with a rod of iron.
Mm-hmm. What does that mean? That's indicative of what? It's synonymous. That even symbolizes what? Hardcore bondage.
Right,
Slavery.
Ruling over them.
Right.
You know?
Oh yeah. Why aren't you Jewish right now?
Yeah, right.
why am I not Jewish? Why aren't these people Jewish right now?
Yeah.
You know. Go ahead.
Verse 4 from the top.
They didn't really think they lied through.
Yeah, they didn't think that lie through, man. Isaiah chapter 2 and 4, and he shall judge among the nations and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares, which swords are instruments of war, right?
Yep.
And plowshares are instruments of agriculture, which I'm gonna keep reading, and their spears into pruning hooks. You know, which is spears are instruments of war, pruning hooks, you know, instruments for agriculture, right? Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. Wow. Hey, and there's war all over the place. Hey, World War III is about to kick off, man, Lord willing.
Yeah, so,
you know?
Third world cometh quickly. So that proves, like, again, and we read in Revelations that the Lord will be with them, right? So where's your house shy at? Where's the Lord at? Why isn't he dwelling with y'all? You know?
Yeah, because guess what, man? You kites aren't the chosen people.
Come on, man.
They're not the Israelites. The so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are the Israelites.
Hey, you know what? Go back to Revelations 2 and 9 real quick.
Yeah.
Just to drill this in your Akim's mind that's straight up blasphemy what they're saying. We just proved to you what should be happening right now, because they're in the land of Israel right now. That's not according to prophecy. We should be right here right now filling out our sentence, man. Which is off.
Revelation. I'm gonna read it real quick and then get back into the prophecy.
No,
we got one more. Revelation chapter 2 and 9. I know thy works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. Which you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you know, of course, right now we're in a low state. We're poor right now, but we are rich. You know, rich in faith right now, and you know, of course, soon to come, our inheritance is the kingdom.
Right.
All right. Which the whole nation of Israel, of course, starting with the elect, is gonna be on that side. You know. Of course, you know, the 2/3 are gonna have to get it, you know, through death by
pain.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But thou art rich, and I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not.
Yeah.
But are, can I finish it off real quick? We didn't finish it the first time. But are the synagogue of Satan.
Yeah, they're bunch of ton, right? Meaning of Satan, right?
Yeah.
They're
Bon
Asaph.
Bon Asaph. Because you know the fake Hebrew, the Yiddish. They're sons of Asaph, you know, for all those Yiddish speakers out there.
Yeah, go to numbers. Asaph. Go to numbers, you know, end off there. Because again, because that's a straight up blasphemy, man. You can't just be prancing around saying I'm a man of God, or Salaki, I'm a child of God, you know, because that's essentially what they're doing, right? They own damn near every and really also they broke in nearly every single law that is written in the scriptures, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I'm not gonna talk about it.
They're that's how you know they're Edomites, because you know the physical counterpart of Satan is what, the Edomites, and these Jewish people are pretty much adverse to everything that the Lord, you know, tells us to do.
Yeah, the mother of the parenthood,
right? Plan.
Mothers.
Oh right. Oh yeah. Right. I thought you were gonna say something else.
No.
You said Numbers what? Oh, Numbers 24 and 2. And Balaam lift up his eyes, and he saw...
2, verse 20.
Verse 20? Oh, Salakia.
Okay.
Oh.
But as we were saying, again, that's just straight up blasphemy, and that's not going to go away unpunished. Or, you know? It's the same with all of Idumea. Right? Because as it is written damn near everywhere, I can think of what Obadiah, you know, Ezekiel 25, that the judgment of Esau, Edom, is going to be, first of all, it's going to be hardcore bondage, which they're going to get it the worst. And then after that, it's just going to perish away. Like nothing.
This is Numbers chapter 24 and 20. And when he looked on Amalek, he took up his parable and said, Amalek.
And Amalek is what? Again, the Jewish people.
The head tribe of the nation of Esau. The nation of Edom. And said, Amalek was the first of the nations, but his latter end shall be that he perish forever.
Hey man, that's in the Bible, man. Not in your damn Talmud, not your Golden Corrals, whatever that was called.
Oh,
all right.
Yes.
I don't know what the hell these other off books.
These other wines, these other philosophies, but you know, That's it. That's all the precepts.
Kinda, yeah, that's pretty much it. But again, we know who the enemy is via prophecy. We know that.
We know that what? We know that we're the Israelites according to prophecy. All right, and we know that you kites and you Edomites are Edomites. We know that you so-called white people are the Edomites, and that you Jewish people in our land are Amalek. All right. You can't lie to us anymore, man.
Yeah, the Spirit of the Lord is working with so-called linguists, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man.
There you go, man.
And finally, we're getting our nationality back, man.
Right.
The scriptures.
Oh, we didn't even get the part of the tribes, how it's only they claim that they're back in the land, right? But where are the rest of the tribes at? We didn't even get into that prophecy either. We didn't even get to the prophecy of the 10 tribes.
We did in Isaiah the 2nd chapter. What? It said
Judah
and Jerusalem. So that's every tribe. Where are the rest of the tribes at? Yeah. There's so many questions we could ask, but hey, in Elder's time, it's all fit for one day. So.
Yeah, hey, Lord willing, we'll make another video speaking about the prophecies that were written, of the Salakia of how we got over here to the Americas and Northern Kingdom.
Because you best believe these rats can't even handle a day's work of hard labor like we went through.
Right.
So with that, Lord's will, you brothers were edified. We want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh,
Hashem, Yahushai, Hashem, Rakakadash.
Again, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone GMS for showing this beautiful truth and shedding light on these lies that Esau Edom has poured out to the whole world. The veil he's pouring out. So again, we want to say call Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai, Hashem, Rakakadash. Again, and shalom to you brothers that tune in. And peace and blessings go out to the brothers that they're pushing out this word in sincerity and in truth. To that we say shalom.
Shalom, Akim.